All right, something a little special today. I want to try to get this where you can see it. That is the Plasencia Alma Fuerte. Alma Fuerte. What's so special about that? Pretty special cigar, and it's one of those special occasion cigars. What's the special occasion? Well, I get to spend time with y'all is pretty special, but the Alma Fuerte, the meaning of that is strong soul. So, man, that lit me up, just the meaning of what that is by itself. Strong soul. And I like to ask people at times, especially when I'm speaking to college students, young adults, what are you made up of scientifically? And everyone says atoms and DNA, blood, bone, marrow, flesh, all these things. And I said, okay, well, what about just generically? Mind, body, soul, emotions. And I say, you know what? I think, just my opinion, God has defined that. Man, I want to spend the time doing this one right. The soul, and then the mind, thinking, and then the emotions, and then the physical body. That's the way I look at it. Could be totally wrong. But it's interesting when I ask young adults, do you believe that? And even if they aren't a Christian, most will agree with that. And then I challenge them, if you really believe that you are more than just reactionary monkey brain running around just by chance, and you believe there's a soul, then is there a creator of the soul? And of course that makes them thinking, and even people who are just spiritual, not Christian, will get into the aspects of having a soul. But I think even Christians have a hard time navigating that part of who they are. Man, I do at times. That's just reality. Let's go. Whenever I get a chance to speak to, when I spoke to the professional baseball players and coaches and college athletes, so good. So here's what I challenge them. At first, you know me, relational. So I say there's never been a championship team that hasn't had great relationships. Even if they don't get along, they communicate really well. They understand, and relationally, man, and even better are the ones who form that brotherhood. But here's also where I go with that is, at a certain level as an athlete, the physical talent is almost equal. Like if you are a college athlete, if you're a professional athlete, you reach a level of everybody's good. So what sets you apart? Most people say it's the mental aspects of athletics. I agree with that. So even I've heard a lot of professional coaches say, listen, you ought to be more exhausted mentally than you are physically at this level at the end of every day, to be able to focus and have intent, and sometimes even robotic, to have that much concentration every day as a professional. You ought to be mentally exhausted more so than physically at this level. That's what being a pro is all about. Agreed. really like this cigar, y'all. I'm just saying this is special. So, Alma Fuerte, strong soul. Here's what I challenge them. If you believe in general, not even as an athlete, a parent, a business owner, a human, but you just generally believe you have a being, in a soul, what if you make that as strong as possible? If you're on a team and the team is taking care of their soul, like all the individuals are getting themselves right with God Almighty, taking care of what the soul means and having a strong soul, I believe the soul affects your thinking. Renew your thinking. That's what it says in Romans. Renew your thinking. You adjust and you change the way you think about things. That's generated from the characteristics of a strong soul. Then you handle much better all the chaos in any form, whether it's in your athletics, whether it's team dynamics, whether it's business dynamics, whether it's family dynamics. If the soul is strong, the mind becomes strong. The mind becomes strong. Emotions are reactions and reactionary, knee-jerk reactions as humans. We all have them. We all don't handle them well. And no one handles them well all the time. But I think that comes from a misdirection of your soul and your thinking. So when chaos hits, when trials and tribulations and errors and mistakes happen athletically, then you react humanly, emotionally, not thought and not soul oriented. Then you respond even worse, and then it compounds, and then it gets worse, and then you try to figure all these things out. So I believe Alma Fuerte, having a strong soul, is the base of you in everything. So how do you get a strong soul? Psalm 138:3 says that, I'm paraphrasing, I didn't bring it again, but apologize. Something like, when I cried out to you, you responded and strengthened my soul. So communication with the creator of your soul, your mind, the emotions, and your physical attributes, communication, growing in that communication, growing in that relationship, changes everything. You want an Alma Fuerte? You want a strong soul? You want a cigar that's good? This is special, y'all. Like, I hope all y'all get to experience one of these sometime. Then you communicate. You make that relationship right between you and the Creator. Then you spend time nurturing that and growing that through daily time of your meditation and your prayer and your right thinking. The Bible says that Jesus said that in this world there'll be many troubles. You're going to experience mistakes, failures, troubles, chaos, weird emotions about different things. But he didn't finish that verse there. What he went on to say, but take heart, I have overcome the world. The creator of souls says, I have overcome the world. He says that because we can too through him. Only through him, I might add. So if you're struggling emotionally with some type of chaos created by this world, I'm telling you, start with your soul. Start with your soul. Talk to God about it. Ask God to strengthen your soul in this situation, just to generate from your soul and that relationship the thoughts you ought to be having. And that a lot of times our thoughts play tricks on us because we go back to our own understanding of things. And if we generate our thoughts from our soul, then we understand God is for us, not against us. God is working behind the scenes for us, not against us. You got a team that's struggling, sports team, family team, challenge every one of them to get their soul right. See what starts happening. I promise. You want to change things around? And I'm not just saying, okay, if you don't have the talent to beat the other team, then just getting right with God's going to change. I'm not saying that, although I think it could happen. What I am saying is if there's inner turmoil and things going on, challenge them. As young men, as young women, do we believe that we have a soul? And being an athlete, being a businessman, being a parent, being anything, the soul is part of that. The soul is athletic. The soul is entrepreneurial. The soul is creative. The soul is the base, the core of who you are in everything. And if it's out of whack or it's neglected or not poured into, stagnant, then guess what? You're thinking, you can try all you want. Oh, I got this. I'm a positive person. I care less about you positive thinking. I mean, I think that'll help you a little bit. Go for it. But it won't help you the most. And if you want the most, you start with your core. And you let that renew, refresh, adjust your thinking, how you handle chaos, strife, trials, losses, errors, and you continue, hey, we got this. Listen, Bible tells great stories of underdogs who overcame. You know why? They had a belief. They had thoughts of, God's got this. I'm doing this for God. I'm representing God and His kingdom. God is with me. God is on my side. God will fight with us and for us and go before us and give us favor of the kingdom of heaven. That's not just fairy tale fun belief. That's historic. That's history. You want to be a team of underdogs that believes in something? Listen, I think there's a reason you play the game. If it was just decided on paper, then all the teams that look good on paper would be the ones that win, period. There's a reason you play the games. And when you get a little scrappy team, I don't care what they're ranked, I don't care who they are, that go in there, that got their soul right, that believe in great things, believe they can beat anybody on any day, and they play that way with all the heart and without intimidation, without believing what's just on paper, I'm going to tell you, they can do great things. They can do great things. So if you want to better your life this year, if you want to better your team, your athletics, your studying, your business, Alma Fuerte. Alma Fuerte. Strong soul. Strong soul. Don't think of it as a woo-woo out there. Oh, a lot of people think the soul is the soft part of you. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? A lot of athletic talk is got that dog in him. Got that dog in him. A kid's got that dog in him. He gets after it. You know where that dog comes from? That's your soul, bro. That's your soul. And when you start thinking soft and getting taken over by everything life's throwing at you, go to the soul. Go to the source. God created that part of you as the core, the battery, where it all starts and where it all ends and processes to the next level. Listen, I'm going to get a little maybe philosophical. I don't know if that's the right word. Native Americans, Christians, different religions all believe there is an afterlife and the soul is processed to that afterlife. The soul alone is processed into the next level of existence. If that's true, then why do we not talk about the soul in all aspects? Why don't we talk about it to our teams? It's funny. I remember speaking to a team one time, a college team, one year, and shared some stuff with them, challenged them, motivated them, made a difference in their culture as a team, and they had a great season. And I'm not saying it's cause of me, but I think God planted some seeds in individuals that created a different atmosphere, a different goal, a different mindset. Wasn't me, it was a lot of things, but I was glad I got to take part in that. The next year, they were picked to be amazing, and they struggled. Didn't get a chance to go back and speak with them that year. But I kept up with them, and what I noticed was a lot of their players weren't praying together, like not just the team prayer. But the year before, I'd see players before one of them would go out, two of them get together and pray. I'd see somebody out on the field before the game start take a knee and pray. And I'm telling you, the second year didn't see any of that. It's almost like they got puffed up in their head, living it out, and emotions created some chaos. Chaos. Had one of them ask me, "Hey, man, what's going on? Could you pray for us?" I said, "Yeah, I'll pray for you. Let me tell you what I believe's going on. Y'all ain't got your soul right." And coming from an ultra Christian guy, that sounds Christianese. Oh yeah, we need to. I said, no. You don't treat training your soul the way you do training everything else, and you're just going off of a human belief system. And y'all didn't before. I said, you asked for some honesty. There you go. Alma Fuerte. This is good for my soul, y'all. So anyway, I kind of got the look like, oh, like it struck a chord. Like it buzzed the tower. Whoa, wait a minute. When it clicks and what I'm saying makes sense, and you start looking at those around you, in your family, in your business, on your team, and you start thinking, including myself, I could go down the line and say, they got a strong soul. They got that Alma Fuerte going on. Like all this is going to get even deeper. And if you're not grounded, if you don't have an Alma Fuerte strong soul, you're going to be like a monkey in a barrel with one oar on a raging sea. Distracted by everything, tossed around. I heard it once, I think it was C.S. Lewis that said, if the devil can't defeat you, he will distract you, which is even worse. Bro, you don't hear nothing I said today, hear that. If the devil cannot defeat you, he will distract you, and that's even worse. And you know what is affected by that? The lack of an Alma Fuerte. So anyway, I'm telling y'all, this is as special as that nugget of wisdom. I'm just a simple man and had to find that out the hard way. But I'm telling you, at my age, what I try to keep in check is the strength of my soul. My mind is not as sharp as it used to be. Not that it ever was. My body definitely is not in the shape that it used to be. I still keep praying that God will make me taller. I believe in miracles. But I have lost 11 pounds. Thank you, my brother Christian, for continuing to inspire and share your journey. So my body's getting smaller in one way, but I'll tell you this, at my age, I start with the core. Like, where am I at? Is my soul strong right now? And you gotta be honest, man. That there's times you fumble, you stumble, you crumble, and it's not that strong. Somebody building something. Maybe they're building a strong soul. So anyway, man, I just want to challenge you. If you're an athlete, if you're a coach, I'm not BSing y'all. Like, check me on it. Try it. Like, honestly, really try it. Like, implement team devotions together. Implement some team meetings with reality, not just a little foo-foo reading the verse and a little topical devotional. I mean, getting real with each other as young men and as young women, and praying for one another, and carrying one another's burden, and loving each other beyond. Listen, athletes are alphas. And when you get a ton of alphas that are really good at what they do, the soul is hard to tap into. Swallow your pride and take care of each other, because you like a couple of budding rams going to prove each other. Got to get who's king of the hill. But I'm going to tell you, sometimes you got to realize you're in this together. And as a group, individually, check your souls. And then what happens together as one unit, the soul is strong. Ain't nobody defeat you that way. You might take some losses, but you'll bounce back, in the chaos of a normal season won't wear you down, wear you out, or get that negativity going between each other, and fighting and lying and backbiting and gossiping and all that drama crap. And that's in businesses, that's in families, that's in life, y'all. And I'm not saying a perfect soul. This isn't called the perfect soul. It's called Alma Fuerte, strong soul. Your soul's probably got some scars on it already. And mine does. Mine does. But that's all right. They've healed. And yours will heal. Strong souls have scars that heal. It might leave a mark for you to be reminded, hey, I remember that, going through that. But that's the process of growth. There ain't no growth without some fertilization, some rain in your life, and some scars. Ain't no growth without that. So take it for what it's worth, man. Alma Fuerte. Check your soul. Check your soul honestly. Is it strong? Is it in touch with the Creator? Are you nurturing? Are you working out your soul as much as you are everything else? Soul affects the mind. Soul and mind together help handle the chaos of emotions, direct the emotions, and then all your physical attributes. Man, you want to talk about, athletes talk about living and performing in a flow state. Well, where do you think all that comes from? Some of them boys that wrote about the flow state use psychology, but they didn't tap into, wait a minute, there's a creator of psychology, there's a creator of mind, there's a creator of the inner being that attributes all these things. Because when you're in negativity and you're trying to fight against yourself and you're doing all this mechanical, technical stuff, and it just feels awkward, feels like a struggle all the time if your soul is not strong. Now listen, I know some of y'all might take this as some foo-foo, sounds good type stuff. Try it. Check me on it. Now, I'm not saying go 1 week in prayer and listening to some worship music before you play. I'm not 1 week I tried it, it didn't work. Come on, man. You try working out for 1 week and thinking you're going to get bigger and stronger and faster, that's some bull Snickers. That's some BS right there. Anything you're going to get better at, you know, it's going to take some time and consistency. Alma Fuerte, time and consistency. And honestly pour it in. Like, you can't go in the weight room just give it a little bit. Like, you got to give it what you got. You got to growl a little bit. You got to bring out that dog. Soul's the same way. Soul's the same way, man. It's not soft. That's the warrior inside. So, believe me or not, make fun, make light or not, but I'm telling you, you might get beat by a team that has their soul strong, that you never saw coming. How'd that happen? If you dig through the layers, I bet it's relational and strong souls. Some people will listen. Some people will take heed. Some people will adjust. Some people won't. We'll see who ends out on top in life, in sports, in business, in relationships, in all this crazy go around for now and the future. Alma Fuerte. I love you guys. I mean it. Go make it a great day. I'm absolutely going to nub this one and enjoy every smoke of it. Love you, mean it.